Hello and welcome to Byju's IAS, presenting to you the daily quiz for 26th of May 2021, Wednesday. Let us begin and have a look at the first question for today. Which of the given statements is or are correct? Number 1. Tides originate in deep sea under impact of crustal movement. Number 2. They occur on the impact of gravity of moon and the sun. Number 3. Gravitational force and centrifugal force give rise to tides. Let us look at the context. Cyclone Yas has frequently been in news these days. And we have in our previous videos discussed the concept of tropical cyclones, how they are named, the frequency of cyclones in Bay of Bengal and in the Arabian Sea. So today we will take a look at this important concept from geography for your prelims exam, that is the concept of tides. Let us analyze each of these statements. Statement number 1 says the tides originate in deep sea under impact of crustal movement. Crustal movements have no relation with tides. It is tsunami that originates in deep sea under the impact of crustal movements. So this statement becomes wrong. Please remember that the tides originate on the surface of water and not in deep sea. These tides occur under the impact of the gravity of moon and the sun. So statement 2 becomes correct. So if you've marked statement number 2 right, you know that the first half of statement 3 is also right, that it is the gravitational force that has an impact on tides. Does centrifugal force also give rise to tides? Yes. The moon's gravitational pull to a great extent and to a lesser extent the sun's gravitational pull are the major causes for the occurrence of tides. Another factor that causes tides is centrifugal force, which acts opposite to gravitational pull of the earth. So the tides occur as a result of both gravitational as well as centrifugal force. So this statement becomes correct, making option B 2 and 3 only correct. So the right answer would be option B. Moving on to question number 2. Which of the following is or are importance of mangroves? 1. Stabilize the coastal shores. 2. Enhance the natural recycling of nutrients. 3. Act as carbon sinks. 4. Reduce the turbidity of water. What is the context? The Maharashtra Mangrove Cell has decided to protect the mangroves by keeping a check on the mangrove destruction by debris and land mafia. And this is being done by setting up CCTVs and drones. Moving back to the question. Mangroves occur mostly in the tropics and subtropics, mainly between 25° north and 25° south latitudes. Why so? Because they require high solar radiation to filter saline water through their roots. These mangrove plants have special roots such as prop roots, pneumatophores, which helps in impeding the water flow. This helps in the deposition of sediments. Therefore, they stabilize the coastal shores. Also, these mangroves moderate monsoonal tidal flows and reduce flooding in the coastal lowlands. So, statement number 1 becomes correct as they stabilize the coastal shores. Let us look at statement number 2. These mangroves have developed processes which enable them to take up and utilize nutrients efficiently. They do this despite growing in the soil which have low nutrient content. The mangroves are very opportunistic when it comes to utilizing the nutrients. Therefore, they help and enhance the natural recycling of nutrients, making this statement correct. Let us have a look at statement number 3. It says that it acts as carbon sinks. The mangroves have the ability to store organic sediments and hence are referred to as blue carbon sinks. By storing organic sediments, they also help in carbon sequestration. So this statement becomes correct. They also reduce the turbidity of water, which helps the sunlight reach the ecosystem, and by this, it helps the ecosystem thrive. So this again becomes correct. Therefore, the answer to this question would be option C, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Moving on to question number 3. Arrange the following islands in Lakshadweep from north to south. The islands are Kavaratti, Agatti, Minicoy and Amini. Why this question? The new land regulation in Lakshadweep has given rise to protests in the island. While you need to understand this issue for your mains exam, map marking becomes very important for your prelims exam, and hence this question. Lakshadweep is a group of islands and is a union territory. While it is not necessary to know all the islands, we need to remember the location of major islands in Lakshadweep. And with respect to our question, we need to know the location of these 4 islands. That is, Amini, that is here, which is the northernmost with respect to our question. Next would be Agatti Island, then Kavaratti Island, and finally Minicoy, which is the southernmost as per our question. So the right answer to this question would be Amini being the northernmost and Minicoy being the southernmost, and the location of Agatti right after Amini and then Kavaratti. So the right answer would be option A, 4, 2, 1 and 3. Question number 4. Which of the given statements is or are correct? Number 1. Ahimsa, Karma and Nirvana are the 3 Ratnas of Buddhism. Right observation, right determination and right livelihood are a part of Buddha's Ashtanga Marga. Mahayana and Theravada are the 2 major sects of Buddhism created by Gautama Buddha. The context is Buddha Purnima. There is a mention of this auspicious day in the PIB article. Buddhism and Jainism are 2 most important topics for our exam. So we have to be aware of the minutest of the details to not to miss out on any question in the prelims. Now let us answer this question. Ahimsa, Karma and Nirvana are the 3 Ratnas of Buddhism. This is a wrong statement because the 3 Ratnas of Buddhism are Buddha, Dhamma, which is the teachings of Buddha, and Sangha, which is the community of Buddhist monks and nuns. Our question also had a mention of Ashtanga Marga. Ashtanga Marga is the 8-fold path of Buddha, which includes right livelihood, right observation, right determination, right action, right meditation, right exercise, right speech and right memory. All these 3 are given out in the Ashtanga Marga as preached by Buddha. So this becomes correct. Mahayana and Theravada are the 2 major sects of Buddhism created by Gautama Buddha. While one half of this statement is correct, the other half is wrong. Because while Mahayana and Theravada are the 2 major sects of Buddhism, this was created after the death of Buddha and not by Gautama Buddha. So this statement becomes wrong and the right answer to our question would be option B, 2 only. Now let us have a look at the previous year question which was asked in Prelims 2016. Net metering is sometimes seen in the news in the context of promoting the option A, production and use of solar energy by the households or consumers. Option B, use of piped natural gas in the kitchens of households. Option C, installation of CNG kits in motor cars. Option D, installation of water meters in urban households. The right answer to this question would be option A, production and use of solar energy by the households or consumers. Why? For this, let us understand the concept of net metering. Net metering is a billing mechanism. Under this mechanism, the solar energy system owners are credited for the electricity that they add to the grid. So if you are a solar energy system owner and you generate more energy than you consume at home from the solar rooftops, this is directly sent to the grid and the electricity meter runs backwards. And when the electricity meter runs backwards, this provides credit to you. And this very concept is known as net metering. This is done to ensure that the customers get to generate their own electricity cleanly and efficiently. And this is also in a way incentivizing the people who adopt solar energy systems. We've already discussed that the right answer to this question would be option A, that is production and use of solar energy by the households or consumers. Moving on to the fact of the day. Today we shall discuss Chicago Convention. This article in the Hindu newspaper today states that Belarusian planes could be banned in Europe and the European airlines could shun the Belarusian airspace. This could be a huge setback to Belarus as it is a landlocked country in Eastern Europe. But why? Because an incident occurred on the 25th of May. And the International Civil Aviation Organization states that this incident could have violated the Chicago Convention of 1944. What was the incident? A plane carrying about 170 people from 12 different countries was forced to land so a journalist flying on the aircraft could be arrested. So Belarus here forced the diversion of the plane to arrest this particular journalist. It is believed that the Belarusian president personally ordered the flight to be intercepted, but Belarus says that it was responding to a bomb scare which later turned out to be a false alarm. Taking note of this complete event, the ICAO, that is International Civil Aviation Organization, has said that the forced diversion of this flight may have violated the Chicago Convention. Why is the Chicago Convention important to us? Because this is a landmark agreement that established core principles permitting international air transport. The Convention on International Civil Aviation is also known as the Chicago Convention. This establishes rules of airspace, of aircraft registration, safety and security of the aircraft, and also lays down the details of rights of each of the signatories with respect to air travel. This particular convention established the ICAO, which is the International Civil Aviation Organization, and ICAO came into being in 1947. In the same year, it became a specialized agency of the United Nations and was linked to ECOSOC. So now we know that this is a specialized agency of the United Nations charged with coordinating international air travel, right? So ICAO works with the convention's 193 member states to reach on a consensus on international civil aviation standards, which are known as standards and recommended practices. These standards and recommended practices and the policies are used by the ICAO members to ensure that their local civil aviation operations are in conformity with the global norms. For example, the convention says every state has complete and exclusive sovereignty over airspace above its territory. Every other state must refrain from resorting to the use of weapons against civil aircrafts in flight, and many such principles which help in the regulation of civil aviation. Also note that this convention contains provisions relating to taxation as well. That is all for today. Thank you for watching. Keep learning.